wants to be king!
Welcome back to the War Room, men. One of my tasks for my 90-day of suck program is to be more consistent in uploading content to this channel. Over the past couple of months, because of some of the messages that I've gotten, some of the emails that I've gotten, and some of the things that people have shared with me, I've come to understand the necessity of sharing the things that I've learned over the course of my life. This channel grew because of the buffoonery of Fresh and Fit. And like manna from heaven, these guys continue to provide talking points and give the ultimate illustration for men to point to the lost boys and say, this is a perfect example of what you don't want to do. You know, when I look at the implosion, the basic self-destruction of all the self-proclaimed alphas that have basically eaten their own tail, ranging from Donovan Sharp, Fresh and Fit over and over again, the cuck Jack Murphy, and all the other guys that have been exposed for just basically being fraudulent. One of the common threads, the most common thread, is that I think that all of these guys truly believed in the mask that they were wearing, that they were selling. That fake it till you make it mantra, they fully embraced it, they embodied it, and they perfected it. And they found a way to project this fake, toxic version of what men were supposed to be and aspire an army of youngsters to emulate really toxic behavior. And you can point to all the obvious fumbles that Fresh and Fit have done. The constant finding of themselves in the mouths of people speaking ill against them. And I suppose that if notoriety is the same as fame, if all attention is good attention, which seems to be the culture we live in, then their strategy is working. But when it comes in the context of helping men or leading young men and showing them what it means to be a real man, all of these guys, all of these fraudulent guys, in my opinion, they've shown a huge flaw in our culture, but more than anything else, they've shown what you absolutely do not want to do in your pursuit of becoming a man. In this series, the first thing I said was that you needed to treat your time as the most important commodity that you have, because as long as you have time, as long as you have the ability to get after it, you're still in the fight. You can still earn whatever it is that you're worth. But when you run out of time, it doesn't matter how much money you have, the game is over. So realizing that your time is the most important asset in your life is very, very key. And the second thing was realizing that you are responsible for everything that happens in your life once you take control of your life, once you become an adult. Now, what these guys have exhibited, what they've sold, the pattern that they've given to those that have fallen in their web is basically a blueprint of how to be a fraud, how to be fake, how to go out here and pretend to be a peacock when you're just a fucking chicken. And over again, these guys have exposed themselves by their own volition. They have exposed themselves to be frauds. But this latest escapade with Brittany Renner, being set up with this, the latest thing that's gone semi-viral, was a perfect example of how these men, these grown little boys, are nothing like what they pretend to be. Because in the confrontation, and that's exactly what it was an ambush, they had the perfect opportunity to use this girl's own words against her. If you're honest, I don't know Brittany Renner, but just based off the videos that she's put out herself, she's exposed herself to be the lowest form of what females have become in our culture. She's absolute trash, and she's bragged about it. But on the same token, I don't smash on her for taking advantage of a stupid youngster who allowed her looks to make him blind to reality. You know, in one of her videos, she stated that athletes are stupid, and unfortunately, she's absolutely correct. That's my job. My job is training and preparing athletes for whatever their next level is. And without question, some of the most talented athletes are the most retarded dudes that I've ever come across. And the ones who don't listen inevitably end up in prison or locked down in a situation that is so far from what they could have and should have been had they just listened to the old man who didn't know shit. When I tried to tell him, life is going to kick you in your ass. You're not as good as you think you are. But in this culture that we live in, everybody's great. You know, we got social media clout, and we've got this strange culture where you don't have to have any talent to vault into fame and to notoriety. And that seems to be what everybody wants. And so everyone who finds themselves lost is putting on a mask trying to get the approval from the outside world. This installation, we'll wrap it up very, very simple. One of the things that young men need to do, and old men who have lost themselves, you really need to detach yourself from all of this matrix world, this metaverse world, this online social media world where everything is fake, everything is filtered, and everyone is in competition with someone else. Instead of trying to be someone else to get the approval of the outside world, be yourself. Discover who you truly are. I had a conversation with one of the veterans who works out in my gym, who's a year younger than me, whose kids are finally out of his house in a few weeks, and this man has no idea who he is. He has no idea what he wants, what he enjoys in life. Because along the way, he lost his identity and started putting on masks and stopped pursuing life for all the reasons that he allowed to be put in front of him as obstacles instead of seeing them as opportunities. When we let the outside world dictate who and what we're supposed to be, there's no way that we can be who and what we're supposed to be. Only you know who you are when nobody's around. That's where every man needs to start. Nobody really cares how tough you are when you get in the comments underneath a video or online when you beat your chest and try to tell people how macho and alpha you are. None of that really matters. It doesn't matter how many people believe that when you say it. When nobody else is around, when you're alone in your room and nobody else is watching, who are you then? Who are you then? How do you feel then? What do you want then? What do you wish that you could do then? What do you wish you would do then? See, those are the things that most people spend no time thinking about. And that is the cry of your authentic self. Oftentimes, the things that you try to keep hidden from the world is your authentic self. The next thing on this list that young men and lost older men need to do is to discover their authentic self and then immerse yourself in becoming and appreciating who that man is. And anyone out in the sphere of your world who doesn't understand that, who doesn't accept it, fuck them. Fuck them. Because it's not your job to manipulate yourself into the construct that makes someone else happy, makes someone else comfortable, makes someone else content. If you live your life this way, at the end of it, once again, you will look back and have nothing but regret. Be who you are. Be true to who you are. And always be able to say whatever you say twice. If you say something to or about somebody behind their back, be the man who can say it directly to their face. These grown little boys are wearing masks and selling a lie to all of those who follow, subscribe, and deify them. Follow them to your own demise if that's what you will. The best thing that you can do, men, is find out and be true to your authentic self. And shit like that will never happen to you. Out.